Indonesia need a lot of global leaders, global talents. If you have a chance to work, to study outside Indonesia, and then expand your thought and horizon to multicultural, multi-education, and then most importantly, experiences working with people around the world, take it. That's the best opportunity for you to grow.
I wanted to study more about behavioral economics, and Warwick was one of the few universities who offered that program. And I think based on the ranks and the testimonials from a lot of the alumni, it's one of the best places to study behavioral economics. That's why I chose to go to Warwick. And little did I know that the experience that is almost 1 year now, I guess, has been very enriching in a lot of ways, because Warwick is a place where ideas can be facilitated not only academically but also non-academically. I've been able to do a lot of things related to non-academic work, for example, from the Indonesian Students Association in the UK. And I've also been able to, form really good relationships with people from all around Warwick, not only the students but also the staffs. Warwick is a place, I think it's like a home, because when you're in Warwick, you don't really have to go anywhere to get things. You can watch a movie in the cinema, for example. You can enjoy arts events. You can even have creative writing courses, which is I didn't expect that. What I will take into account when I go back is that I can still be myself, while at the same time try to do bigger and greater things in Indonesia to contribute for the country, because that's what I learned from people and friends in Warwick. I think you can still be yourself while making great changes.
We're at a critical point in history. You've reached a pivotal point in your life. This is the point. So don't let this moment pass you by. Get ready for it. Make sure you're equipped for anything the world throws at you. Be guided by expert minds. Don't leave yourself on mute. Don't stand still. Be part of a community which allows everyone to have a voice, to stand alone or to work in teams, to speak with freedom. Don't fear the future. Embrace it. Right now, in every community, city and country, we need leaders, imagination and insight. We need you. So yes, it is a critical point in history for everyone. But it's also an opportunity. It's your opportunity. We're ready to change your world. We're ready to change the world. Get ready.
Good afternoon, everyone, for all the attendees who are joining us today, both from Indonesia and Timor-Leste. I'd like to welcome you to this webinar session with a topic about choosing course and university in the UK in collaboration with the University of Warwick. I'm happy to welcome you today and hope that you are joining this session in a healthy situation wherever you are right now. So my name is Bagus and I'm the Chevening Program Assistant at British Embassy Jakarta, and I'll be guiding this session in the next 2 hours. And I will read the rundown of the event for today. And we are currently opening the event right now. And after that, we will continue with a Chevening Scholarship presentation from British Embassy Jakarta. And after that, we will resume with the presentation from the University of Warwick about choosing course and university. And after that, we will hold an talk show session with the three alumni, the Chevening alumni who have graduated from the University of Warwick. And after that, we will end the session with question and answer session. And also, I'd like to inform that this webinar session is recorded and also live streamed through our YouTube channel, Chevening Indonesia and Timor-Leste. And you are always welcome to rewatch this session at our YouTube channel. And we are also inviting the attendees to introduce yourselves through the chat box feature on Zoom. And in case that you might have any questions for the speakers or for the alumni during the session, please do not hesitate to use the Q&A button to submit your question. And we will answer the question during the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. And also for those of you who are currently joining us via YouTube, you are also welcome to submit your questions using the chat box feature on YouTube. And okay, without further ado, I would like to give the opportunity for the head of Chevening in Indonesia and Timor-Leste from British Embassy Jakarta, Nick Faulkner, to give a brief overview about the Chevening Scholarship. So Nick, I welcome you to the stage. The screen is yours.
Thanks, Bagus. Appreciate it. Welcome everyone to today's event. Special thanks indeed to our Chevening alumni that are joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to support these events and for supporting the Chevening program. So thanks very much. And of course to our good friend representing University of Warwick, back Imran, how you doing? You okay? It's good to see you again. Always a pleasure. So I'll give a short overview of the Chevening Scholarship Programme, which is the UK government's #1 scholarship programme. It was established in 1983, and every year the programme awards over 1,500 scholarships to people from over 160 countries around the world. And the programme offers a fully funded one-year master's degree at any university and to study any subject, and that's within the UK's world-class education system. Now, the point of Chevening is to identify future leaders, opinion formers, influencers, people that are going to work to create positive change in their country. And it's not all about the fields of politics and business, although of course they are welcome. But what we try to do is to identify a diverse range of talent, so the successful applicants might equally be artists or writers, designers or human rights activists or environmentalists, and so on. So there are now over 50,000 Chevening alumni worldwide. In Indonesia alone, there are nearly 2,000 alumni now, with Chevening being our Indonesia being our fourth largest Chevening program in the world. So already fantastic network, a fantastic community to be a part of. And these numbers highlight not only the importance that we place in the program and its success in Indonesia, but they also underline the UK's commitment to Indonesia as a global partner. And the team and I, we're often asked what it is we look for in a good Chevening candidate. And we usually flag 3 things. First being passion. We try to identify people that are passionate about their chosen subject. And then we're looking for creativity. We want to find people that have got the vision to bring their ideas to life. And also we're looking for, of course, leadership. We're looking for people that we think are going to be a force for good, people that have the ability to positively influence those around them. So if you think that's you, fantastic. I encourage you to apply. The window is open now. It's open until the 2nd of November. And don't forget, diversity is at the heart of Chevening. So We're trying to find people with all types of skills from all kinds of backgrounds from across the whole of Indonesia. Thanks very much for your time. Bagus, back to you.
Thank you, Panik.
Actually, Bagus, if I might interrupt just one sec. I'm going to have to jump off this device, but I'm going to rejoin you shortly from a different device, okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Panik, for your brief overview. So to summarize a bit about what Panik has already said, there are three types of people that the Chevening program target. People who are passionate about the issues they are in, and people who are creative in their ability to solve problems and also to become the leader in their respective fields. So if that sounds like you, the window is open until the 2nd of November. There is less than 1 month, so we encourage you to submit your application as soon as possible. And okay, after this, we are going to listen to a presentation from the Chevening team at British Embassy Jakarta. The presentation will be about what is the Chevening Scholarship and what are the requirements to apply for the scholarship and what are the scholarships offer. So we are going to listen to this presentation, and it will be delivered by the Scholarship and Alumni Coordinator at British Embassy Jakarta, Ms. Rowena Rompas. I'd like to invite you to the screen right now.
Okay. Yeah, Bagus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you also to Imran and the three alumni, Barry, Annisa, and also Alanda. It's nice to meet all of you, even though by virtual. Okay. I will continue with what Nick already mentioned about the Chevening Scholarship. As the Chevening Scholarship is the UK government scholarship funded by the FCDO, Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, and also partner organization such as University of Warwick and other organization. Why we need more partnership? It means that we can send more Indonesian and Timor-Leste going to study to the UK through the Chevening Scholarship. And what are the Chevening Scholarship? As we know, I already mentioned earlier about the Chevening Scholarship. And also, I think the Chevening Scholarship is for study a 1-year master degree in the UK. In every university and all subjects, including in England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and also Scotland. So 4 countries. Yeah. And who should apply for this scholarship? I think Pak Nick already mentioned about people who has the passion about creativity and also has a potential to be a leader, influencer, and decision maker. So if you are want to make a change in your community, in your country, and then you can apply this scholarship, because this scholarship will be tend to raise a prominent position in their countries. For example, in Indonesia and also Timor-Leste, on the field that applicant will chosen in the UK. Okay, next slide. The eligibility criteria of the Chevening Scholarship. It's not so much, I mean, it's easy, I think, because it's be a citizen of eligibility country, such as Indonesia and also Timor-Leste, and has been graduated from the undergraduate degree or bachelor degree with a GPA around 3, or I think compared to the UK grades is 2.1 honors degree, and also have at least 2 years working experience. The 2 years working experience is similar with 2,800 hours. So you can calculate it, yeah, starting when you, you work, even though the work is part-time, like volunteering or internship. So the 2 years working experience can be combination of full-time and also part-time. And of course, not have previously received the UK government scholarship, yeah, like Chevening. So for example, like Barry, Annisa, and also Alanda won't be able to apply this scholarship again, but there is an opportunity for them to share their experience when they apply this scholarship and they study in the UK and return back to Indonesia, study at the University of Warwick. And also until the date of submission of this Chevening scholarship application, we don't need unconditional offer or letter of acceptance from one of the UK university. And also we don't need the English capability, because the English capability such as IELTS or TOEFL IBT or Pearson or Duolingo, I think perhaps later on Imran from the University of Warwick will explain more about the English capability. But for applying this Chevening scholarship on the 2nd of November, we don't need unconditional offer and also the English, because the English capability will be assessed by the UK university. But you have to try to do a research to find out the 3 courses and the 3 university in the UK, because you will fill in on the form the 3 courses that you interested and will be chosen. And of course, there is also 2 reference name that you have to put on the application form. But the reference will be, the reference letter will be uploaded when you are invited for the interview. I will show it later, the timeline. Okay, next, what does the Chevening scholarship cover? So the Chevening scholarship is fully funded. So it is covered for the full tuition fees, except the MBA. Because for the MBA, there is a fee cap of 22,000 pounds sterling, but only for MBA. For MSc or MA, there will be covered full. And also a living allowance for the, for the awardee who got the scholarship. The living allowance is for 12 months or 1 year. And also we will cover the economy return flight from Indonesia to the UK and also return back. And free visa, because this is the UK government scholarship. And also we cover the health insurance and also the TB test. Because for applying student visa to the UK, you need to have the certificate of tuberculosis. So we will cover, and also there will be an additional grant to cover essential expenditure because through the year, the Chevening Secretariat will organizing the networking events. So if the event will be in the London, for example, and then the awardee who live outside London will be given an additional grant to cover their travel and also accommodation. Yeah, and then what else that Chevening Scholarship offer? The Chevening Scholarship is, is strong with the networking. So there will be an exclusive networking event, as I mentioned earlier. There will be seminar talks and also trips across the UK, such as, for example, trip to the stadium in Manchester United or Liverpool, or in London like Arsenal, and also like Harry Potter studio and hiking, and also on volunteering opportunities. There will be a lot of volunteering opportunities in the UK. So please explore and experience, not only going from your accommodation to the university, but also explore more in the UK during a 1 year that you will be studying. And also, if you will be selected as the Chevening awardee, then you will be automatically joined to the 50,000 alumni from all over the globe. It's around 160 countries and territories, and you can meet together with the influential and highly, networking with prominent alumni as well. And then during your time in the UK, for example, for those who are studying for journalism or media, there will be an opportunity to have an internship at the BBC World Service, and also, as I mentioned, volunteering opportunities, Chevening competition, and also tours and trips around the UK, as I mentioned earlier as well. So you can see there is a valuable experience during your time in the UK. And the Chevening alumni community is a huge, it's already running. The Chevening has been running since 1983, as Nick mentioned earlier, and then already have 15,000 alumni all over the world. They are professional in a range of fields, such as tackle the climate change, and also the alumni working in the sector of journalism, media, energy, business, and other things. And then if we can see the prominent or notable Chevening alumni from Indonesia, you can see Mbak Livia Iskandar in the government, and also Mbak Heliati Hilman. If you heard about Jafara, the organic food, and also Mbak Aisyah Silewu in development area. Panut Hadisiswono, the director of Orangutan in Medan, Nur Huda Ismail for international terrorism, or international peace building, and also Pak Desra Percaya is currently as ambassador for Indonesia in the UK. And then previously we also have Pak Rizal Sukma, who is the former of ambassador Indonesia for UK as well. So you can see how the notable Chevening alumni from Indonesia, and we also have many more. And of course, the three of alumni who will be joined this afternoon, and also for Timor-Leste, we have Minister Fidelis Manuel Magalhaes, also Jose Lucas do Carmo da Silva, and also the ambassador for Timor-Leste in Cambodia, Hermenegildo Cupa Lopez, and we also have other alumni like Didina Maria da Silva, Ismail da Costa Barreto, and also Efandi Gomez Pinto. So you can see, I mean, how big the Indonesia and also alumni from Timor-Leste, and they already been in the prominent position as well. And how to apply for the Chevening Scholarship? The Chevening Scholarship, you can apply through the online, through the website www.chevening.org/apply, and already open since 3rd of August, and we will be closed on the 2nd November. Please bear in mind that the 2nd November is not in our time. For example, Indonesia is around 6 p.m. and also in the Timor-Leste is around 8 p.m. So please be aware. And then we encourage all of you, if you already done, you already starting apply this Chevening Scholarship, please send it from now, because if you waiting until the last minute, sometimes the server will be crashed. Can you imagine that 160 countries application will be submit at the same time, and then sometimes it will be, the system will be broken. So we advise you to submit it from now. And the timeline for the Chevening Scholarship, when we close on the 2nd November, during the November and December time, there will be an independent rating committee who will be assess all the application through the system. And in January, we'll be receive the long list, and the British Embassy Jakarta will make it to be choose the shortlisted candidate, and the shortlisted candidate will be invited in February for interview. And then the interview, the time and the date for interview will be booked through the online as well. And then I think before the interview will be start, we will be asked the shortlisted candidate to be upload the 2 references into the system. And then the interview period, usually we will run in March to April 2022. And if it's possible, then the interview will be face-to-face. If not, and then we will run by virtually as well. And in June 2022, we will be announcement the interview result, the successful one, the reserve, and also unsuccessful candidates. And on 14th of July, the selected applicant must have received at least one of unconditional offer or letter of acceptance from one of the UK universities. Yeah, so that's why if you want to get the unconditional offer or letter of acceptance before the 14th of July, you have to test your English capability, because to get the unconditional offer or letter of acceptance, you need to achieve a certain level of your English capability. But usually it's depend on, it's depend on the subject that you will be studying. but around the IELTS test is around 6.5. And then like IBT TOEFL is around 79. You can check in the in the UK university about the English requirement, and I think we can also heard from Imran about the the English capability for the University of Warwick as well. And then in September, all the awardee will be depart to the UK, and before they depart to the UK, and then we will be hosting the pre-departure briefing. So you can meet the ambassador and also current scholar, the alumni, and us as the Chevening team. So this is the overview of the timeline for the Chevening. And on the online application form, there will be 4 questions, the essay question that you have to fill in. So it's about leadership and influencing question, networking, study in the UK, and the career plan. For the leadership and influencing, you have to explain about a concrete example that you have to show your leadership and influencing skill. So you can pick like 1 or 2 example about your potential to be a leader, and also maybe through your job you receive responsibility, and how you sorted out a problem in your job. You can explain this on the leadership and influencing question. And also networking, you can explain about how you build a global professional network starting from Indonesia, and also when you study in the UK and bring it back to your country, to Indonesia or Timor-Leste. And also regarding study in the UK, as I already mentioned earlier, please do a research, and then you can explain how your experience to your chosen courses, and then you can also look at your career plan, your short, mid, and also long-term career plan. And then you can also explore why you want to study master degree in the UK. It is not in line with your undergraduate degree, or there is a professional gap. So that's why you need to study in the UK to have a new knowledge in the UK, and will be bring it back to your home country, especially for your career development. And in career development, you can explain, as I already mentioned, your short, mid, and also long-term goals, and how you achieve, and not only benefit to yourself, but of course benefit to your home country as well. And please bear in mind, if you make an essay, you can use the STAR methodology, like STAR means like situation, task, action, and also the result. You can use that methodology when you write your essay. And also please be aware that each question, please fill in with the 100 words up to 500 words. When you write the essay, please be honest, and also you can ask your colleague or also your alumni of the Chevening to proofread your online application form. And then I think up to the the end of this period, at the end of October, we will still have some webinars. So please join our social media like UK in Indonesia, and also we have the Chevening Alumni Association Indonesia. They have the mentoring program, but the mentoring program itself has been closed, but they have videos and also some events that you can attend it. So I think this is my presentation. So please join us because we still open until the 2nd of November. Thank you. Back to Bagus.
Thank you, Bu Roena, for the brief presentation. I think it's really comprehensive for you, especially for those of you who are already preparing for your Chevening application. And before we move to the next agenda, we will show you a video about Chevening alumni from Papua. So please watch it.
Chevening finds future leaders. Nama saya Rosa Moywen, berasal dari suku Marin, Merauke, Papua. Saya lahir, besar, dan tinggal di Papua. Saya berhasil menyelesaikan pendidikan tingkat master di Environment, Development and Policy, University of Sussex, Inggris, berkat beasiswa dari Chevening. Sejak kecil, saya memiliki banyak mimpi dan tertarik mempelajari banyak hal, salah satunya bahasa Inggris. Saya belajar dari mana saja, termasuk dari lagu-lagu berbahasa Inggris. Setelah lulus dari Fakultas Kehutanan Universitas Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta, saya kembali ke Papua dan bekerja dengan beberapa kelompok perempuan dan masyarakat. Sebagai aktivis perempuan, saya merasa perlu untuk memahami isu sosial secara global untuk mempengaruhi kebijakan di skala nasional maupun internasional. Hal ini membuat saya ingin mencari beasiswa dan melanjutkan sekolah ke luar negeri. Saya mulai mempersiapkan diri dengan rajin berlatih IELTS dan TOEFL untuk meningkatkan kemampuan berbahasa Inggris. Beruntung sekali, tempat saya bekerja memberikan kesempatan belajar bahasa Inggris di New Zealand selama 9 bulan. Seorang teman memperkenalkan saya pada program beasiswa Chevening. Saya sangat tertarik karena di Inggris banyak pilihan sekolah berkualitas dan program yang sesuai dengan mimpi dan tujuan saya. Saya mengikuti proses seleksi melalui penulisan esai, kemudian wawancara di Makassar. Senang sekali, saya terpilih sebagai salah satu penerima beasiswa Chevening, seorang Chevening Scholar. Selama proses seleksi, saya terus mencari informasi kampus dan jurusan yang sesuai dengan tujuan dan minat saya. Menurut saya, penting untuk bertanya kepada banyak teman, membaca studi yang relevan, dan terus mencari tahu penerapan ilmu dan pengalaman yang akan didapat. Saya pun akhirnya memutuskan untuk mengambil program Environment, Development and Policy di University of Sussex, Brighton, Inggris. Kamu tertarik untuk mengikuti jejak saya? Pertama, pahamilah tujuan kamu memperoleh beasiswa. Kemudian carilah info mengenai kriteria, persyaratan, dan waktu pendaftaran Chevening. Selanjutnya, siapkan dokumen yang dibutuhkan. Persiapkan diri sebaik mungkin untuk ikut seleksi. Aktiflah bertanya pada orang yang paham atau berpengalaman menjalani proses seleksi. Saat ini juga banyak alumni Chevening Global dan Indonesia yang sering berbagi di sosial media, seperti bisa dilihat di YouTube dan Instagram Chevening Alumni Association Indonesia. Sebagai anak Papua, banyak yang bisa kita lakukan untuk mengembangkan Indonesia dari timur. Manfaatkan internet dan sosial media untuk mencari informasi yang dibutuhkan. Jangan lupa untuk terus belajar dan berusaha. Mulailah mengenali tujuan hidup kamu. Lalu, ayo wujudkan visi kamu bersama Chevening. Kalau saya bisa, pasti kau juga bisa.
Yeah, that's a brief video about a Chevening alumni from Papua. And okay, right now we are already joined by our next speaker. And I could already see that many questions are already coming to the Q&A button. So to the audience, if you have any question to our speakers, please do not hesitate to submit your questions through the Q&A button. And there's already a question related to Warwick University, in which the person asked about what is the positive point, the uniqueness of the Warwick University in both academic and non-academic aspects. I think this will pretty much be covered by the presentation in the next session. Okay, so here we are already joined by our next speaker, Mr. Imran Hashim. He is the Senior Liaison Manager for Southeast Asia at University of Warwick. Welcome, Imran. The screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Bagus, for that introduction. Okay, what I will do now is I'm going to share my screen and I'll be presenting my slides and I'll be talking through them. Just give me a second whilst I start sharing. Okay, so. Right. Okay. So today, what I will be doing is telling you a little bit more about how you might want to go about choosing a suitable course, choosing a suitable university, and then I'm going to give you a very quick introduction about the University of Warwick. My name is Imran, and I'm the Warwick Liaison Manager for Southeast Asia, and I'm based in Singapore. Now, let me go through the different topics that we're going to cover today. Like I said, choosing a course, choosing university, a quick introduction to the University of Warwick, and hopefully towards the end, we'll have some Q&As. Right, now, choosing a course. I was just wondering, like, you know, what's your criteria when choosing a course? What are the things that you're looking for in a course? Maybe some of you can type in some quick answers into the chat box just to see the first couple of answers. I'm going to exit the screen now. I'm going to stop share just to see some of the responses in the chat box. What are you looking for when you're choosing a course? And anybody? The curriculum, very good. The modules, yes, absolutely. Modules, okay, great. Thank you so much. Most people are thinking about the modules and relevance. Okay, great. So I'm going to share my screen again. And here we go. Right. So in terms of choosing the course, a lot of you have, talked about, the right things. For example, the modules, how relevant it is. Now, let me share with you some of my experience, as a counselor. I'm going to give you two examples. One example is a person who told me, when I met him at a fair, he told me, does University of Warwick have the Masters in Physics, MSc Physics? I looked at him and I said, yes, we do have MSc Physics. Can you tell me what you want to do? What's your career aspiration? What's your ambition in life? Oh, I want to actually, do marketing for a fast-moving goods company. And I'm like, okay, so why are you asking me about MSc Physics? And the answer was, oh, because I did a bachelor's in physics, right? And so I had to tell him, no, that is not how we choose a master's course. You need to think about your ambition, your career, what you want to do, for your career. And that is how you decide on the course that you want to study. Now, let me give you another example. This other student, a potential student told me, okay, Imran, do you have a master's in journalism? And I had to say, no, I'm sorry, I don't have a master's in journalism at the University of Warwick. And then I asked him the same question, what do you want to do? And he says, I am already a journalist. I've been a journalist for 2 years, and I want to write more about urban issues, in urban and environment issues. And then I asked him, what was your bachelor's degree? And he said, oh, my bachelor's degree is in geoengineering. Something about mining and geoengineering. And then I asked him, then in that case, is it not better for you to do an MSc in urbanization and urban solutions as opposed to doing an MSc in journalism? Because you are already a journalist. When you go to and you are writing in Indonesian, and I imagine, you've got good skills in, writing news articles in Bahasa Indonesia. So why do you need to do an MSc in journalism when an MSc in urbanization and urban solutions might be a better fit for you? Because that is the sector of journalism that you want to focus on in your career, right? And so I gave you these two examples to actually tell you, to share with you this idea that what the question you need to ask yourself is, what is your career aspiration? What are the skill gaps that prevent you from achieving that career? And then which master's degree can help you fill those skill gaps so that you can achieve your goals, so that you can achieve your ambitions, right? So those are the two factors, the two questions that you need to ask yourself when choosing a course. The other thing that you might want to consider is entry requirements. So obviously you will be, you will see this course at this university, that, a similar course in another university. You will want to compare entry requirements before choosing for that course at that university to make sure that you will be able to gain entry into the course. Duration, well, in the UK, that's not too much of a problem. Most of the master's degrees are 1 year in length, so it's a 1-year master's degree compared to other destinations like where you have a 2-year master degree. Taught versus research, that's another question that you might want to ask yourself. Do you want to do an MRes, which is a research master's, or do you want to do a taught course, which can be an MA or an MSc? What's the difference? Now, with the taught course, of course, you will be doing mainly coursework, so basically modules, and then you'll be doing assessments for those modules. Whereas for a research master's, the main bulk of your time will be spent doing research on one topic that is your focus, that is your research area, right? So a research master's is very focused, and a lot of the time is spent on doing research in a particular research question that you're interested in. And therefore, in terms of your output, you will be expected to write a really big thesis or a really big master's dissertation, compared to a taught course where actually a lot of the assessment might be more continual assessment as well as final exams, right? Of course, for taught courses, you still have to do a dissertation. I don't want to give you the impression there's no need to do dissertation, but if you do a taught course, the dissertation will not be as heavy. It will not be as big a project compared to a research master's. The last question you might want to ask yourself is accreditation. So, is the course that you are aiming for at this university, is it accredited by the professional bodies? Is it recognized by the profession that you're about to enter? So that is something that you might also want to consider when choosing a course, right? So a lot of you mentioned modules, absolutely, and that is where you need to check out the course details. After you have already thought about all the different questions I mentioned earlier, and you have sort of narrowed down in terms of, okay, which course you sort of have an idea of, like, okay, maybe courses from 3 different universities or 4 different universities, then what you will want to do is look at the modules, right? So comparing this course and that course, whether they have modules that interest you. And it's important because remember, you're going to a master's degree so that you can learn skills and knowledge that will fill those gaps, in your knowledge. And so you will want to pick courses where the modules will give you the knowledge that you need. Also, will there be exposure to industry? So you want to compare courses and say, okay, if I choose this course at this university, will I have the ability to have exposure to industry in the UK? Because I'm sure that is something that a lot of you will like and that a lot of you will benefit from. Teaching and learning, that's something you might want to think about. All universities will have mix of lectures, seminars, group projects, presentations, right? So all the UK universities will have that sort of similar structure, but maybe some of them will have different a number of hours in terms of contact time for seminars, right? So and class sizes, they might be different. So that's something that you might want to go into detail if that's something very important to you. Another thing is hybrid learning. A lot of the UK universities are now moving into hybrid learning because of the COVID pandemic. University of Warwick, for example, we are doing hybrid learning. So there won't be big mass lectures because, you know, that's not very COVID safe. But in terms of seminars, those are still being done face-to-face. At the University of Warwick, that is what hybrid learning means. No mass lectures where, you know, 100, 200 people in one room. No, we don't do that. But seminars, and also personal appointments with your tutors, like one-on-one, like consultations. Okay, that definitely happens face-to-face. All right, so that's teaching and learning. The different courses, how do they do it, right? That's something you want to compare. Finally, assessment, continual assessment versus final exam, and dissertation, versus a final project. Because some of the courses in the UK, instead of maybe like a 100-page dissertation, they might actually ask you to do like a project work and then maybe send in a report. And the report, you know, is not as heavy, it doesn't have to be as thick as the dissertation, right? So that is also something that you might want to compare between courses and see which one you prefer. Now, choosing a university. Right, okay, so there are lots of different sources of information. So please, the number one source of information should be the university website. Do serve the university, let's say you have already targeted the university. Do serve their website to find out more about the university. You might also want to look at ranking tables. Ask your friends, family, and teachers, who might know about the university that you're thinking of. Definitely check with the alumni of the university because they have already gone to the university. They already had that experience at the university. They will be able to give you very good advice. Education consultants is also a possible source of information, and of course, internet fora and student blogs. So these are all the different sources of information when you're trying to choose a university. So now, very quick snap poll. Again, I'm going to get out of the PowerPoint. I just want to quickly see what are the factors that you consider when choosing your university. Can I see some responses like, so what kind of factors do you think about when choosing a university in the chat box? Okay, curriculum, that's sort of like the course. Okay, alumni achievement, very nice. Yeah, you want to see what kind of alumni have gone to the university. Careers, very good. Curriculum, environment, location. Excellent. All these are very, very relevant factors that you definitely should consider when choosing your university. And I'm going to go back to my slides, right? And you will see that a lot of the things that you mentioned are reflected here, right? So I have decided to split it into academic criteria and non-academic criteria. So in terms of academic criteria, definitely ranking and reputation, that's something you should look at. You should also look at research outputs. See which of the universities out there are research focused. Now, why is this important? It's important because a research university is a university that is producing new knowledge. So when your professors are producing new knowledge, you are getting the cutting edge information, that will put you ahead when you go back out into industry, when you go back out into your jobs, right? So the quality of the academics, that's very important. By the way, in terms of, for Warwick, in terms of research rankings, we are ranked number 7th in the UK. That was the last exercise that was done. And academics also, Warwick has very outstanding academics who do great research that are internationally recognized. Another criteria would be the facilities. So for example, in terms of science labs, etc., you might want to be sure, especially if you're scientists, that that the university is well equipped, with labs, etc. And finally, career support. And I saw that in the chat, right? Some people talked about career support. Now let me tell you that yes, I agree with you that career support is very important, and that is something that is very important for the University of Warwick in terms of supporting our students, because we want to make sure you have a great education at Warwick, but when you graduate, we want you to be, climbing the corporate ladder and, making great achievements in terms of your profession. So career support, we have a dedicated careers team at Warwick, and that will be able to help you, for example, with things like job interview training, CV workshops, etc. Right, so that's academic criteria. In terms of non-academic criteria, this is also very important. One is location and lifestyle. So, for example, do you want to be in London, where it's busy, hustle and bustle, very dynamic and energetic lifestyle? Or do you prefer a more sort of like campus environment where you have a university campus set in the countryside, beautiful green parks and forests for you to take walks in? That all these are very personal decisions, right? So you have to decide also when you're choosing your university, in terms of the location, in terms of the lifestyle. For city life, it's more busy. For campus life, there is more time to socialize. You also get to make more friends and have deeper friendships for campus universities. Environment, facilities, tuition fees, living costs. But of course, if you're getting the Chevening Scholarship, you don't have to worry about this, because Chevening will take care of the tuition fees and the living costs, right? In terms of funding scholarships, so for example, that's of course a factor for those who are whether or not the university is providing any scholarships. Student life, pastoral care. So student life is that student lifestyle. Do you have a lot of extracurricular activities, any societies you can join? Pastoral care, that's talking about mental health. Is the university helping you with your mental health, making sure that everybody is happy and healthy? By the way, mental health is something that is a big focus at the University of Warwick, because we don't want students who are all stressed out and not enjoying their lives. At Warwick, we have a lot of support in terms of mental health to make sure our students are happy and productive on campus. And finally, you might want to think about safety and whether it is welcoming to international students, right? So these are all the different factors that you definitely should consider when choosing and thinking about a university. Now, so what happens? On the one hand, you had to choose, of course, and the other hand, you had to choose a university. So where the two meets, right? That is where you will have found, the perfect fit, where in terms of the courses, it meets your important criteria, and then the university, in terms of the factors that is important to you, it meets your criteria. That is the perfect fit. That is where you should apply. All right. So that is a very quick, introduction into what are some of the things that you need to consider when you are choosing your course, when you're choosing university. So now I'm going to talk about the University of Warwick, right? Specifically, University of Warwick. We are a university that is located in the city of Coventry, and Coventry has a great location because it offers you the best of both worlds. On the one hand, it is only 1 hour away from London, only 1 hour by train, and it is only 20 minutes away from Birmingham. And London and Birmingham are the two biggest cities in the UK, right? And so you're actually really close to these two big, huge cities. And yet, at the same time, you have the luxury of being able to live on the Warwick campus in a beautiful countryside for most of the week, right? And so a lot of the student lifestyle is about, having a great campus life during the weekdays, and then on the weekends, they will, very often like go to London to do the shopping, to watch the plays on the West End, to watch musicals, etc., etc. All right, so Warwick, in terms of location, we really do think we have the best of both worlds. Now, in terms of academic reputation and rankings, because some people talked about wanting a university that has a great reputation, and Warwick is definitely a university with a very good reputation. We are top 10 in the UK. And if you look on the, on the top right-hand corner of the screen, left-hand corner of the screen, you'll notice that we have won 2 awards very recently, a couple of weeks ago. We have been named the University of the Year runner-up by the Good University Guide, which is one of the major ranking tables in the UK. And something that we're very proud of, we've been named the University of the Year for Teaching Quality, right? And we won this in the middle of the pandemic. We won the University of the Year for Teaching Quality in the middle of the pandemic, to show you that even during stressful times, Warwick has always found a way to deliver the best quality teaching, right? And we are number 61 in the world for university rankings, according to the QS World University Rankings. I just wanted to breeze through some quick photos of campus, and I'm going to share some links later, but this is a photo of the piazza. Warwick campus is like a small little town. You will be able to find everything you need. You will be able to find bars, cafes, restaurants, a hairdresser. You will be able to find an employment agency. You'll be able to find a musola in the middle of campus, right? And also a chaplaincy where like Christian students can attend religious services, right? So we have a multi-faith chaplaincy and musola in the middle of campus to serve your religious needs. And we've got lots of cycling paths, green spaces and lakes, a great, beautiful natural environment, as you can see in these photos right now. Right, we have a great sports hub with a mega gym. It's only 1.5 years old, this sports hub. We have the Warwick Arts Centre, which is the biggest art centre outside of London, and you'll find performances, from other countries that will come to perform at the Warwick Arts Centre. And in the Warwick Arts Centre, you'll even find a small museum and a cinema. So in the middle of the day, if you have a break, you want to watch a movie, you can go to the Warwick Arts Centre and watch a movie. Accommodation, we provide on-campus accommodation. By the way, this beautiful accommodation here is called Lakeside, obviously because it's beside a lake. So can you imagine? This is one of the accommodations that's available for our students who are living on campus. We also have family accommodation. So this is limited. So if you are coming with a family, you will need to apply for these as soon as possible. Don't worry, I will be able to guide you through the process when the time comes, but just want you to know that there are family accommodations on campus. So this is an overview of Warwick campus. Look at how green and how beautiful it is. And London is only 1 hour train ride away, right? And so you really do have the best of both worlds. Right, so everything is within a safe walking distance. Like I said, everything you want to be able, that you need, you'll be able to find on campus. It's a safe environment with a real sense of community. And now I talk about the community. The community is amazing. Warwick is a place to meet amazing people. Several years ago, we actually organized the Love Warwick campaign, where we asked students what they loved about Warwick, what they enjoyed about university. And these are some of the post-it pads that the post-it notes that they wrote, and they send it back to us. You can read it for yourself. I love all the amazing people I've met and the whole university experience, being surrounded by the most talented people in the first slide. And you're going to meet some of these talented people later, because our alumni will be coming on shortly, right? And so you'll be able to talk to these talented people that come to Warwick, right? Another, if you see on the right-hand side, I love Warwick's multicultural bubble, because we're such an international university. We are familiar with different cultures. So for example, if you go to a restaurant on campus and you ask for halal food, you say, can you recommend me a halal dish? There is no problem. Our waiters and waitresses, they know how to recommend to you halal food, for example, right? Because we are a very international university. Lots of support for our postgraduate students. For example, the postgraduate community engagement team, they organize events, and there are also postgraduate mentors available, and we have spaces and places dedicated to postgraduate students, like the PG Hub, as well as the Wolfson Research Exchange. Now, University of Warwick, we are the gathering place for all the top Indonesian students, really the brightest minds from Indonesia. They come to the University of Warwick, and you see a happy photo of them here. In terms of careers and employability, we understand, I told you already, Warwick, we understand how important this is. So we organize career fairs and recruitment events, employer presentations, and for information, please take note, there will be an upcoming alumni event, a virtual event, like a webinar in November. And in this coming November, you will meet 3 amazing Warwick alumni. They are the Chief Growth Officer of Happy Fresh. His name is Johan. They are do you know ByteDance, who owns TikTok? Well, the HR boss for Indonesia, he is a Warwick alumni. He will be joining that event. And we also have a product manager who works for Gojek, right? And she will be there as well, because the theme of that alumni event we're organizing next month is called Working in Big Tech, What You Want to Know, right? Want a career in big tech, what should you know? That is the topics that will be discussed by our alumni who all work in these big tech companies, right? And so definitely in terms of alumni, we are really spoiled. It's an embarrassment of riches. And in terms of societies, when you're at Warwick, we also give you the societies also give you a lot of opportunities to do networking. So for example, Perhimpunan Pelajar Indonesia, Warwick, they have good relationships with the Indonesian embassy. And so you can do some networking there. And I'm sure our alumni will be able to tell you more about that later. These are the kinds of organizations our alumni go on to work in: Bank Indonesia, JP Morgan, Ellen, ByteDance. I mentioned ByteDance just now. A lot of our alumni who are academics actually teach at Universitas Indonesia also. Right, admissions, GPA either 3.0 or 3.3, depending on the course, and IELTS 6.5 or 7.0, also depending on the course. So, right, this is where I told you about the entry requirements. You need to read the entry requirements. What is the English requirement? Is it 6.5? Is it 7.0? Will you be able to make the requirement, right? And in terms of Duolingo, we do accept Duolingo, and those are the scores that we need, either 119 or 125, depending on the course that you are applying for. Your next steps, basically go to our website, the postgraduate website, where you can browse all the different courses. We have a student blog page. It's called our.warwick.ac.uk, as you can see on the top left-hand corner, our.warwick.ac.uk, where you can actually connect with student bloggers. And this is my contact information. I'm going to leave it here right now for you to take a screenshot so that you can email me at i.hashim@warwick.ac.uk, or you can even just WhatsApp me. I'll be happy to have a WhatsApp chat with you. All right, thank you very much. I spoke very fast, I know, because there was so much content to cover, but I hope you were able to understand me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Imran. Fantastic presentation. I think I also got fired up by your passion in your presentation.
So Bagus, I forgot to mention one thing. I am now going to drop a link into the chat box to everybody, because I have this video of the PPI Warwick president. I think he was the president at that time. He actually did a campus tour in Bahasa Indonesia. So I'm going to drop that into the chat box so people can see the campus being guided by an Indonesian student. All right?
That's okay. All right.
Thank you.
And also, I'd like to say thank you for Pak Nick. For Imran. Pak Nick wanted to say thank you. And because the time is limited, we will go straight directly to our talk show with the 3 alumni. So we are already joined by the 3 alumni who have previously studied at the University of Warwick. And I'd like to invite my colleague, Rastulan Delru, as the Network and Alumni Officer to guide this session.
Thank you, Bagus. Thank you for the introduction. I can tell Imran, this webinar, the energy that you send through the screen was really energetic, and it gives us so much inspiration. I think it was really clear for people who probably this is the first time that they know about Chevening, probably this is the first time they know about University of Warwick, and the presentation that Imran just did was really clear on the step by step, especially on how you choose your course and university. That was really eye-opening for me, and I hope everybody here as well get the benefit from the presentation. So we are going to move along to the next session, which is with sharing session with the alumni and Chevening Scholar. Probably I will start by introducing myself again. My name is Raras, everybody. Thank you for joining us today, this afternoon. I am the Network and Alumni Officer at the British Embassy Jakarta, and I will moderate the alumni sharing session. So before we begin, I know there's already lots of questions on the Q&A feature, but please keep it coming, because this is probably one of the chance that you can ask our alumni, scholars, Imran and Bu Rowena as well about Chevening and about University of Warwick. So please do send us the questions. So let's get to know the Cheveners who already kindly joining us today to share their experience and useful tips. Firstly, I would like to greet Kak Alanda Kariza. Probably many people around here already know her, seen her on social media, TV, probably read some books. Hello, Kak Alanda. How are you today?
Hi, Kak Raras. I think some of the participants already saw me in the Warwick video as well.
True. Yeah, lots of videos about Kak Alanda. Kak Alanda, let me give a bit short bio of Alanda, yeah. So everybody, Alanda is our Chevening alumni from Indonesia, 2016-2017 cohort. She graduated from the University of Warwick, especially with MSc in Behavioural and Economic Science. And let me find, okay. So Alanda herself is a youth advocate, an author, and also a behavioral scientist. Alanda is interested in using behavioral science to help individuals make better decisions. And at the moment, she is working as a behavioral insights analyst and is building behavioral insight consultancy called Advis Lab. Her experiences are various, including the FMCG, technology, and non-profit sectors. Thank you, Kak Alanda, for coming here today. And also, Alanda is the president of PPI, which is Persatuan Pelajar Indonesia in the UK back in 2016-17, yeah, Kak Alanda, if I'm not mistaken. So before we continue, I also would like to greet another alumni from the same cohort, actually. Halo, Kak Berry Elen.
Ya, halo. Selamat sore semuanya ya.
Selamat sore, Berry.
Yeah.
Kak Berry looks like he's in the front of a lake somewhere with lots of, was it ducks or geese or goose? I don't know.
I don't know. It is actually a goose that lives in Warwick. So it's our usual view every day actually in the campus. So yeah. So when I was asked to, okay, you need to find some background related to university. So I'll just Google like Warwick goose or Warwick geese, and there you go. It is very popular anyway. You will see them when you are in the campus.
It seems like the Warwick goose is, it has a distinct memory to Berry. But yeah, Berry, if I can say a bit about his short bio. Berry is our Chevening alumni 2016-17 cohort from University of Warwick as well. When he studied in the UK, he was taking the MSc in Logistics, Materials and Supply Chain Management under Chevening Scholarship program, obviously. Berry has multiple years of working experience in supply chain and operations management, and he has extensive professional experiences with DHL, a company that I think many people here know, which he was also nominated DHL Indonesia's Employee of the Year and Group CAO, betul ya? CAO or recognition awardee. He also experienced international professional exposure while he was studying in the UK, working with Jaguar Land Rover or JLR, Global Sourcing Department in Warwickshire, UK, which is near the university ya.
Yeah.
Berry is now leading e-commerce fulfillment services in Shopee Indonesia. Nih pasti banyak banget yang belanja di Shopee ya. Berry is actually one of the one of the staff there. Thank you Kak Berry for joining us today. We'll talk more with Alanda and Berry, but we also have somebody coming from very far away, joining us today straight from the UK. Ya, halo Kak Annisa, apa kabar?
Halo semuanya, kabar baik. Apa kabar semuanya? Semoga baik-baik aja ya.
Yes, from the outfit that she wears, we can tell that she's in the cold UK, yeah, not in Indonesia or not in Timor-Leste. Kak Annisa herself is a Chevening scholar. She is still in the UK because she received Chevening Scholarship Award to undergo study in e-business management, MSc candidate. From the University of Warwick 2020-2021 cohort. Annisa demonstrates professional experiences at the two prominent e-commerce companies in Southeast Asia and Alibaba as well. Her experience inspires her to pursue career in technology and digital industry. So she just finished her study at the University of Warwick this year. Earlier, before we begin this webinar, we also tell her not to come back to Indonesia too soon. Hope you can enjoy as much as you can in the UK. So, okay. We can go straight to the questions now, yeah, if I may, Kakak-kakak, Kak Alanda, Kak Berry, and Kak Annisa. There are already lots of questions coming in, but maybe the first question I would like to ask you all is about if we can recall the memory when you started to apply for the scholarship of Chevening. And also when you applied to study in the UK, what was your biggest motivation at that time? Because for some people, like dreaming to study abroad is a big thing, is a big leap of faith, if I can say that. What was your biggest motivation at that time? Maybe your story relates to the audience here. But yeah, maybe we can start with, I don't know, Kak Alanda first. If you can share your experience with us.
Okay,
Thank you.
so the first time the idea to study in the UK with Chevening Scholarship was first planted in 2009. It's a bit different from others' experience. So when I was in high school, I joined a program from the British Council, which is in close ties with the British Embassy. So the first time I went abroad on my own was to London. And that's also when I met Mbak Rowena at that time. And it was a life-changing experience also because it was my first time abroad. And people kept saying, hey, you know what? You can actually study in the UK for your master's degree with a full scholarship from Chevening. So even though it was around 10 years ago, it's something that is stuck in my head for a long time. And since then, I've never had any other dream or goal, like scholarship goal, except to get the Chevening scholarship in the UK. So I know that over the course of 10 years, there were a lot of other scholarships coming in for Indonesians, but it's my first love. So that's what I applied to.
Thank you very much, Kak Alanda, for that. So the main, if I can pinpoint the Kak Alanda's biggest motivation was the love struck to the scholarship program itself, yeah, and also like your first time going to the UK to London.
And back then, I think like in 2009, the number of scholarships were more limited. So I know that there were only like maybe 15 or 20 people who get selected every year. So, I was lucky to apply so many years later because the number of spots have opened up.
Oh, thank you, Kak Alanda, for sharing your story. We go to Kak Berry now. Berry, what's your story?
What's your motivation? Okay. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Okay, I think I got asked this question when I went to to the Chevening interview actually, and number one motivation, of course, it's education. Yeah, I think it's a bit cliche. Of course, we want to develop our education, but I think my primary motivation is my personal motives, like personal experience. So I really like the British culture. So most of my favorite movies are British. If you know Train Spotting, I don't know, it's not a really, culturally good movie, but yeah, it's a British movie. I love it. And so I love British culture and I love football. And I actually love to watch a British talk show. So back then, when I was asked my motivation in the interview, I can still remember my interviewer laughed a lot when I said, okay, what's your motivation to come to the UK? And I asked it, okay, I want to meet Jeremy Clarkson. So if you don't know Jeremy Clarkson, so he is, how do you say it? A really nice chap, or is it?
A legend.
A legend, yeah, a legend is of presenting. And I said, okay, I watched Top Gear a lot back then. I said, okay, that seems cool. So I gotta go. I need to go to the UK somehow. And I watch football, and I'm a big fan of a certain club. I will not name it here, but those two are actually my primary motivation aside of education. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I answered back then.
Nick actually show the mug. Barry, if it's city, you can say it, but if it's not city, then don't say it.
No.
So I'm also not saying it.
Definitely not city.
Oh no.
No.
Thank you, Barry. So teman-teman, as you can tell, motivation of going to study abroad and what Chevening sees in people are very various, yeah, very different from one person to another. So it depends on who you are. It depends on what your motivation. So it doesn't have to be in a certain, in a certain sentence that maybe like typical scholarship motivation thing. You can say whatever you like, as long as be honest, like Mbak Rowena said in the beginning. So that was Alanda and Barry's story. Now we want to hear from Annisa, especially because she's fresh from the oven. Maybe Annisa can tell us a bit about your experience from starting point and then till you are now.
Okay. So actually, I already knew that I want to pursue master degree since I graduated from the bachelor degree. But at that time, I didn't know which country and what course and everything else. So the reason why I choose UK and I choose the course and everything else is reflected on with my previous professional working experience, because I work in a technology industry, especially in e-commerce industry, and I'm really passionate about that, and I really like working in e-commerce industry. And then on one day, like, okay, so I'm looking so it's very like, okay, looking for the scholarship in the Google. There's a lot of the scholarship in the Google, and then I look at, okay, there's one Chevening, and then at the time it's like 2018 or 2019, and I also found out that Alanda Kariza, I know that, yeah, I've been following you in the social media, and then you are one of the Chevening alumni. So I think there's so many things that affect me to choose the UK and the university and then the Chevening the Chevening scholarship, but everything based on my personal experience, and then there's also influenced by other people, and also I can see that one of my colleague in the previous employer, she also one of the alumni, and I can see that how radiant she is after graduating from the Chevening, how she changed and how she improved through the Chevening scholarship. So that's really motivated me to apply to the scholarship. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Annisa. So, oops, am I muted? No. Okay.
No.
Yeah. So hopefully by this webinar, like people attending this webinar or probably have met or talk to Chevening alumni previously will get more inspired, because for some people we sometimes cannot see that we achieved a lot already in our life and feel like I might not fit into that criteria, I might not be able to fill in the requirement of the Chevening Scholarship or University of Warwick because it seems like too prestigious. But actually, if you self-reflect to yourself, you've done a lot. So the only thing you need to do is to apply for this opportunity, because it opens for everybody. And we hope that this scholarship and also your chance to study, for example, in University of Warwick, can help you to get to where you want to be in life. Bahasa Indonesianya semoga bisa menjadi kendaraan untuk teman-teman mencapai impian. Begitu. Jadi scholarship and study in the UK is not the end goal, ya. I think if we can talk about that, it's actually the door opening more opportunities. So we have already lots of questions here targeting to the alumni. Maybe I can start with some questions to Kak Alanda and maybe for others as well on choosing course. What was the experience? What was the process when you start looking for courses and universities? Because Annisa just mentioned about when you browse for UK university and courses, there are lots of information out there. For some people, probably it's too much information, like galau ya, semakin sulit memilih which one is the best. So what was your process? How did you come up with the 3 preferred choice university and course? Maybe I'll start with Kak Alanda, ya.
Okay, so my course of choice was very specific. I wanted to study behavioral economics, and fortunately, there are not a lot of universities in the UK or like in the world that offer the course. So it already kind of narrowed down my options. And then what I looked at also was that most importantly, I looked at the course syllabus. I think is very important. And for me personally, it's more important than the rank of the university or the program itself. I think what a lot of people do out there is that they care so much about the #1 university in the US or in the UK or in Australia, while actually sometimes that rank doesn't apply to all courses. So what I read first was the course syllabus to see if it matches the skill sets that I need to go to for it to become the door that you mentioned, Kararas. For it to become the vehicle for me to reach what I wanted to reach and what I wanted to learn. And then the other aspect is still, like the rank of the university and the reputation is still very important. But for me, it's less important than the course syllabus. So I also looked at that. So in the end, I applied to a couple of top universities, including Warwick. And just like how we usually do in applying, in writing applications for things that require you to choose three subjects or 3 universities, you always have the safe option at the 3rd option. Interestingly, my safe option was not safe for me because I was not accepted to my safe option. But the good thing is that I got accepted to one of the top universities I chose, which is Warwick. So that's how that's what was important for me. And and the other one is what Imran also mentioned about the proximity to city and the situation of the university itself. I deliberately chose a campus university because I wanted to stay calm, but then it shouldn't be too far to like the big cities like Birmingham and London.
Wow, thank you Kak Alanda. Ya, ini banyak banget yang bertanya Kak, like questions for Kak Alanda. It seems like MSc Behavioral Economics at Warwick. I don't know, maybe they come here because they saw you. Yeah, because the questions are very specific. Why, how to apply to the University of Warwick, or how to apply to the university. But before that, let's talk with Kak Beri and Kak Annisa first about what their thoughts on the same question. Kak Beri, maybe?
Aku dulu ya, Bat ya. Okay. Why did I choose this course? Yeah. Okay. I choose this course. Yeah, I did some research. Okay, I will not explain a lot of why I chose this course, but in short, my course, I want to a course that is flexible and it will sustain whatever it is. So supply chain and logistics management, like everyone, as long as the population grow, there will always be demand of any experts in this area. And I think that's it, why I choose supply chain and logistics management. And the second one is I actually wanted to choose an MBA, but I'm just being realistic. Okay, I just thought, okay, there's a cap in an MBA, and I don't have much money to pay for the rest. For the rest of tuition fee, so I chose MSc and in supply chain logistics management instead. So that's number one, education wise. Number two, why I choose Warwick, because Warwick is the best supply chain and logistics management in the UK. I think either number one or number two in Cranfield. And I even got lucky because my supervisor back then in the Warwick, she used to be, I think, an advisor to the Chamber of Commerce or Chamber of something, the House of Lords, a really brilliant lady. And so yeah, I want to be supervised by one of the best scholars or teachers in the UK. And most of them are teaching in Warwick, luckily. And now she's now a dean of a University of Loughborough. Okay, I don't know how to read it actually. Loughborough, yeah, something like that. And third, I think the same with Alanda. I want to live in a village, but it is still strategically located to big cities. So I still go to London every week just to do some, how do you say it, head-on in a way, just to have some fun with London. So I can balance between living costs and, being happy to go to the University of Warwick. And I think that's it. I'll just make it short because I can't talk a lot. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Kak Beri.
Yeah, one other thing, sorry.
Boleh.
Yeah, and the last thing is actually I want to answer one question asked here about opportunities in internship and working. So I also choose Warwick because it has a really strong tie to the industry. So I did my project as a direct. So my project was actually not an academic project, not a research like literature-based feedback, but it's actually working in a company where the tutor will give you an actual case. So I went back to the company like every week back then to see on how we can improve their logistics and supply chain. So Warwick has a really good relation to the industry. And back then, I also got a chance to work with Jaguar Land Rover in the UK. It's also because of Warwick, because I think they only accept students from Warwick for that opportunity. So that's it.
Thank you, Kak Beri. So teman-teman, the opportunity to study in the UK is not just for study, but going for a trip as well, going around the city, going around the country, but also the opportunity of the internship tadi ya. So this is already another tips though. When you start writing on your when you start writing on your application to university and also to Chevening, you can say all of these things. Like Alanda and Beri already mentioned about the rank of the module, the course itself, the university ranked the highest on that course. So it's not the university rank, but on the course focus. And also like other opportunities that is offered by the university or by the course that as an accumulation is a strong reason to study in the UK. So kalau Kak Annisa, what's your story?
Okay, so my story, I think when the first time I wrote the Chevening essay, I didn't know that about the university and then about the course. But at the time, I try to reflect on the previous experience and then focus on the future planning and look at the gap. So after like a lot of consultation and then talking with a lot of people, and then also search the Google, like focus on the top university in the UK at the time, and I even visit the Warwick website and go to dictionary page and then looking at one and one. I check it and then I read all the modules, and then I think about and I also research. So that it's like it took a lot of times. Like I spent for choosing the universities like around 2 months at the time. So and after that, after I compile everything, and then I summarize everything that I want to go to the top 3 university to top 3 universities, the 2 universities in London and the one in Warwick. So I talked with the alumni and the student at the time, and this is the benefits for the Chevening, because we have like a strong networking, we have strong connection. So I talk with Chevening alumni and the Chevening students, and then I interview them like, what is the most favorite course, and then what is the best thing to study in this university, what is the benefits, and then is there any activities that I can join, not only the study, or is there any like internship opportunities, something like that one. But I reached them out like personally, and they're really nice to me. They're very friendly because they reply to my message. And then short story, I also look at the course, and then I saw that e-business management at the University of Warwick is #1 in the UK, and also #1 in the Europe. And then I think it's also the third position in the global. So I think it's very important not only focus on the university quality, but also on the course and the module as well. And then think about the timeline and 3 requirements, and it's very important. That's the module or the course require you working experience. Do they need a GMAT? Do they need like a IELTS or TOEFL? So because every university, they have different rules, they have different requirements. So it's very important if you have some time to do a lot of research and take your time to think about your university and your course as well.
Thank you very much Kak Annisa. Begitu ya kira-kira ya. Jadi there are a lot of reasons that in choosing a university and course, like Imran mentioned earlier, that was really amazing. Academic reason or non-academic reason.
Yep.
So it's all up to the applicants, all up to you, ladies and gents, and everybody on Zoom and also YouTube. If you have a particular reason to study in the UK, you can talk. Maybe if you haven't even know like where to go, like Annisa did, talk to the alumni from that university. What was the thing that memorable for them? What was the thing that they find it useful that you can also relate to that, especially for your career? Some questions actually asked for Alanda, Berry, and Annisa about. We talk about motivation to study in your chosen course, but is there any relevancy to your previous experience before, or previous academic or working before, or if there is a story from you that actually your S1 and S2 doesn't relate at all? You get the question, yeah? Like, some people is not in line their major, their bachelor degree and their chosen course or major for master degree. What was your story on that? Mungkin siapa dulu nih? Mungkin Annisa yang paling baru nih ya, the freshest one. Maybe you can still remember though. Silakan Kak Annisa.
Okay. I think okay. Can you repeat the question? Sorry, like I was a bit
yeah. So do you have is there a reason for you to choose this course, to choose the course that you are doing relevant to your previous work experience?
Actually, my course, my bachelor degree course is a communications study, and I was aspired to be a journalist, not working in technology industry at the time. But my professional experience working in technology industry inspired me to pursue a master degree and especially to the course. So I think that affects me a lot because I know that there is a gap for me. Like as a communication student, I work in a technology industry. I do business analytics, management, and then technology and digital marketing as well. So it's quite different with the previous background. So I think like, oh, okay. So what is the best course and what is the best university to fill the gap between previous experience and the future planning? Because my future planning, I still want to work in technology industry. I still want to empower small medium enterprise company. And then I look at the e-business management, and then they have like a 4 specialism. One of them is digital consultancy and entrepreneurship, and I was hooked at the time. Like, oh my god, I think this is really something that I really need to fill the gap and then to pursue the future planning for me in the future. I think that's all, Mbak.
Thank you, Kak Annisa. Ini kebetulan pas sekali Christiana Sitohang asking the question to Annisa, why you chose e-business management and how it relates to your previous job. And I think it's already answered by you. Thank you so much for answering. Maybe the same question, similar question. Is there any other reasons that relates to your previous experience, academic or work experience, that lead you to choose your course today, that time, Kak Alanda and Kak Berry? Silahkan.
Oke, gue dulu ya, Ber.
Silakan Kak, duluan aja.
Yeah. So I think whether it's aligned with your bachelor's degree or not, I think the most important thing is how we are able to connect the dots in answering the Chevening questions or writing the university personal statements, and also if you're lucky and you pass the shortlist, you are interviewed you're interviewed by the Chevening selection panel. Because for me, my master's degree choice is still a little bit related with my bachelor's degree, even though not directly, not too linear, but there's still a correlation. But I think it's the most important thing is to be able to kind of craft the story, just like when you are pitching for a project or applying for a job or dating someone, you have to present the story well, and so people understand why you make that choice or why you want to do that. Because I think it's maybe someone comes from a business management major and then suddenly they want to apply for a creative writing program at Warwick, for example, but they've never written anything and they've never published anything, and it would be difficult for you to convince others that you can actually do creative writing or you can actually complete the course. But as long as you can find the evidence to show that actually it is the right way to go for you, I think it can be done by anyone regardless of whether there's a connection or not. But you have, the candidate has to be the person who finds that connection instead of the selection panel or the university admission, I think.
Benar banget. Totally agree on this. So you can be your education, your academic or your work experience can be linear, but can also not be linear. But that's your chance to say it. That's your chance to write it down on your personal statement to the university when you are applying to the university in the UK, and also when you fill in the form for the Chevening Scholarship application. Kak Berry, have anything to add?
I don't have anything to add actually, but can I quickly answer one of the question here? I still owe her. I think Gifari Siregar. Yeah, hello.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I haven't really fully answered your question about if we can take an intern or find a, let's say, part-time job. I don't know now, but back then, maybe Imran can verify. back then we were allowed like 20 hours of working every week, and the university will help you to actually find a job. There is a, how to say, local job vacancy, and I did a couple of jobs, and I think my last job was to work as a tukang parkir, as a parking coordinator or something like that for an event. And so yeah, you will be able to find a part-time job just to fill your like vacant time, or to find more money for to eat or to do something, whatever you please.
There are also several part-time jobs on campus, like cinema, working in the cinema, or like I applied to student fundraiser, calling alumni to ask for donations, and several other things.
Yeah, there's so many websites like Unitimes, Work in Startup, Angel in Us. Like if you want to work in like university, you can apply to Unitimes. If you want to work in startup in the UK, you can apply to startup ukinstartup.co.uk. There's so many options if you want to do internship.
I have a disclaimer though, because the masters in the UK is very short, so it's very packed, and it's very difficult for you to juggle stuff. So be careful if you work or do other stuff. It's going to be very difficult.
Yeah. Yes, agree. I think it's very important if you want to do like internship or part-time after you finish all the modules, because believe me, as it's studying in the UK for 1 year, it's tough, challenging, but it's fun.
Maybe other pro tip, you can sell food. Indonesian food tastes good. I think I mean my house, and I think Alanda used to be my housemate. I think we sold some Indonesian pancakes. So if you know what Indonesian pancakes are, so yeah. It's cheap, it's cheap though. The flour, the sugar, it will cost you like 2-3 pounds, and you can sell it for a good profit. So yeah, I think that's still okay.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, just in short, like you can do internship. Like Bu Rowena already mentioned during the presentation, you can still do internship, and we actually encourage you to do that. So then you can explore your networking and opportunity, maybe to have a little bit of job experience as well, just to expose you to the international experience. We still have lots of questions, and we only got very limited time. But maybe Imran, if I can ask you to join the conversation again here on the screen. A question from many of us actually, but maybe not in written, is what is it in the personal statement letter that the university are looking for from a student? Is there any pro tips for us maybe today to put into the personal statement? Thank you.
Right. Okay, so for the personal statement, right, essentially the person who reads the personal statement, who is he or she, who are they? They are basically the tutors, academics, right, who will read your personal statement. So already you know that you need to focus on the academic side of things. Why do you want to do this master's degree? Why you would be a suitable candidate for the course? How you would benefit the course? Why are you an attractive student for the professor to admit you into this course? And what are your ambitions for the future? So everything needs to be a right fit. So for example, if you apply for MSc supply chain and supply chain, and then you say, oh, in future I want to do marketing for this company, then obviously it doesn't match. So we just want to see your passion, and we just want to make sure that you are the right fit for the course, right? That it makes sense to admit you into this course because you will benefit from it and you will benefit the class. So if you can demonstrate that in your personal statement, I think you're on good track.
Wow, thank you. And maybe one more, Imran. This is quite technical, but it's very important as well, because you see in Chevening we do not ask for unconditional letter or letter of acceptance from the university if they want to apply, which will be closed on the 2nd of November. By the way, everyone. So then, how long will it take from the application to university will be? So how long people will need to put in Just as a cautious disclaimer.
Right. Right. So basically, when you apply to a course at Warwick, it's between 6 to 8 weeks. Although sometimes it has happened before. For example, I think it happened to Alanda. She waited much longer for it. But 6 to 8 weeks. But what happens is you should get an answer. So the moment you submit your application, 6 to 8 weeks. Now, if it happens that it took much longer than that, please get in touch with me. I am the person who will help to solve problems for you. So you will drop me an email. Hi Imran, I applied 10 weeks ago, no answer, please help me, and I'll step in.
Thank you very much, Imran, for that answer. We also have still some more questions here. I don't know if we can answer everybody, but hopefully this session will at least fulfill some of the questions that you are thinking in your head. But there's one very interesting question from Gary Hernandez. For all speakers, every coin has two sides. Despite from your achievement as Chevening scholars and UK students and alumni, would you share a piece of struggle or rejection that you have been through before going to the UK? This might be coming from somebody who get rejected before, or just, sometimes we lost our motivation for a bit, and then how can you get back up again? Who wants to go first? Maybe Imran, you can also say it. Okay, Alanda, go for it.
Semangat tiba-tiba ya, semangat ya.
Semangat dong. Soalnya I think it's great that there are a lot of scholarships out there right now, but I think it comes at the expense of people feeling like they are inadequate when they don't get scholarships, because there are so many other people getting scholarships. So I think this is why the question is very important. I've been rejected a lot. One of my biggest failures in life is that I didn't get accepted into UI. I tried 3 times. My mother is still very ashamed of that fact, because my mother is a UI alumni. But even after Chevening and after studying in the UK, I still get rejected when I apply for a PhD scholarship twice. So it doesn't mean it's getting a Chevening scholarship or going to the UK is not a beacon of success. You can still fail before and after that. And I think it's very important for everyone to know that. And another piece that I wanted to share before the session is closed is that a lot of people believe that if they don't get a scholarship, it's because they are not good enough for the scholarship or not good enough for the university. I'd like to believe that sometimes it's not that you're not good enough, but it's simply because there is no fit between you and the scholarship or the university. For example, I think Chevening Scholarship is very diverse. It champions diversity, and also it's a scholarship for a lot of professionals. So people who are working in the private sector and public sector, or entrepreneurs, creative industry, but sometimes these are also the people who don't get other scholarships because other scholarships are more focused on research or academic, or wanting to be a lecturer. So sometimes if you don't get Chevening or you don't get other scholarships, sometimes it's just because what they're looking for doesn't match what you're looking for, and that's okay. And maybe your soulmate is Chevening, also maybe not. So don't get very sad if you don't get something, because it doesn't mean that you're not that good, but maybe it's just it just doesn't match, and it's fine. Maybe you should just find something that matches you. And I think for Barry and I and Annisa, perhaps Chevening matches us more than other scholarships.
Thank you, Kak Alanda. Anything to add, Kak Barry dan Kak Annisa?
I'll just add, Alanda has covered almost everything, but yeah, I mean, before Chevening, I was a bit anxious as well, a bit bete, kesel gitu ya, in a way that I got rejected a couple of scholarships. For example, there was how do you say it? Another scholarship, that was not merit based, and I got rejected because of a very ridiculous reason. Okay, so I got to the interview, and the interview was being very ridiculous and asking irrelevant questions. So I was really desperate back then. But then I met Chevening, and I don't have much information back then. But when I met the interviewer, I knew exactly that. Okay, he is looking at merit-based. He is not looking of who you are, what is your background, blah, 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 blah. He's looking at what you wanted to do and what you wanted to achieve. So that interview actually changed my mind on that day. So back then, I think Imran knows the man. He's Andy Young. I think he's still teaching over there. I hope he is. He's a really nice tutor. I even said hello to him a couple of times. And the interviewer came from Warwick, and he told me that he was very happy because I did not exaggerate. I didn't talk about bullshit. I'm just being realistic on everything, and I'm being honest. So, and then and he on that day he shakes my hand and he told me, I'll see you in Warwick in October. So back then, like, I was like really happy because it's once again it's a merit based, unlike the other rejections that I had, which is a bit unclear about what the reason is.
That's really wholesome, actually.
Yeah.
to hear about that. So yeah, Annisa, would you like to add anything?
I think it's quite similar with Alanda and Kaberi. Before Chevening, like I was rejected Chevening in 2018, and then I applied again in 2019. But I really focused at that time. Like I prepare everything very well. I prepare from starting from the TOEFL, from the essays, and then I even practice interview before Chevening announced the interview. So I was very optimistic, like at that time. So yeah, and I know that after finishing the degree and then I got a Chevening Scholarship, I still got rejection a lot. I mean, like I applied to the job in the UK, I applied to the job in Indonesia. I know that there's so many rejection. Even sometimes I'm still questioning myself, questioning my capability. But I think like it's not about it's about how you fit and how you prepare for the scholarship for the company. I think Alanda already emphasized that. So I think if you got many rejection, and if you got like rejection from scholarship, from the job, or from everything else, just I think it's very important if you like focus on yourself, improve, start again. That's what I did in 2018. Yeah.
Thank you, Annisa. I think that's the perfect bridge before we close this time. But Imran, if you would like to give any encouragement, advice, please do.
I better than encouragement, I have great news for potential applicants. You can apply to Warwick and ask for a fee waiver. So you don't have to pay application fee. So you just need to say, I'm requesting for a fee waiver because I'm applying for Chevening Scholarship. Right? And so they don't have to pay any fees. So isn't that great news? So I welcome all of you to apply for the Chevening, but say that you are a Chevening applicant, and we will waive the application fees. All right?
Great one, Imran.
Okay.
Yes,
thank you, Imran.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think I still paid back then. Paid on my own.
Me too.
There is like, give me back my money.
But that was worth it.
That was worth it. Yeah.
I think maybe Imran and other management board in Warwick sees their alumni and think like, maybe we should waive the fee now. Thank
so
you.
They don't
that.
sell
That's
martabak
great.
anymore.
So they don't need to sell martabak. Thank you very much. That was a really great news, everybody. So make sure, don't forget, be honest that if you want to get the fee, waive fee?
Fee waiver. The application fee waiver.
That one, make sure you also apply for Chevening, because if not, then you are not eligible for that. Okay, everybody, as much as we want to continue the conversation, I think we have reached the end of the duration. It's been 2 hours. Maybe last thing, one more, maybe like a line, a sentence to from you to give advice or encouragement for the audience today on Zoom and YouTube. Maybe start with Imran first, if I can.
I guess my advice is really from the point of view of Warwick, do your research in terms of the course that you're interested in. Look at the entry requirements, because you have limited time, and so make sure that you qualify, and then write a great personal statement focusing on your passion for the subject and just how you will be a right fit, and keep your fingers crossed and your hopes up.
You maybe next one, Bu Rowena, actually. Can you give us advice, Bu Rowena, mamahnya Chevening ini?
Thank you, Raras. Yeah, for me, I think if you have already know all of the criteria of Chevening and have a passion to change, and then please join us and apply the Chevening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mbak Rowena. Kak Annisa, silahkan.
Okay. I think for me, if you really want to pursue something, you have to do it like seriously, and then you have to be well prepared. I know it's going to be a long journey because Chevening Scholarship and then studying the UK, it takes like a year. And also ask help if you need it, and find support is very important as well. Yeah, good luck.
Thank you, Kak Annisa. Kak Berry, go for it.
Apa ya? I don't know. I think I will say the same thing. Just be sincere, be serious, like invest some time. It's worth it. And then, of course, ask your parents restu. How do you say restu? I don't know how to say
blessing.
Restu, but yeah, blessing. Ask your parents blessing. I think that's quite important. And last thing, should you be, ask, or you can, okay. And the next thing is you can ask for like alumni or some other people experience that know how you can improve your essays, because I think that's one of the most key step, or the key step in the selection process, because I think like what Bu Rowena mentioned earlier, the reading committee reads about, I don't know, 1,000 of essays, hundreds per day, perhaps, and they will have a headache. Okay, so make it really interesting on the very first part, the beginning and the end. So because I'm pretty sure that in most cases they will only like do, they will read, but will not read the entire paragraph, but make it interesting. So people sees that, okay, your essay is outstanding. And you know what? I think it's interesting for you if I can meet you in person to talk about your essay. So I think that's it. And be honest and be sincere. Be realistic. Don't bullshit. That's it.
Thank you, Berry. Yeah. I think from Berry is no BS. Kak Alanda.
Okay, I think it's very important to be yourself. Don't spend like so many hours reading other people's essays or DMing alumni, whether alumni can read your essays, or reviewing your university or course of choice. I think it's very important for you to be yourself and be genuine in writing that personal statement, but make sure that you write it in an academically structured way so it's easy to read. But there's one story that I always tell everyone who applies to Chevening. So there's a question about leadership, right, in the Chevening application. And one of the scholars in our batch wrote a story, or like answered that question by saying that he has practiced leadership by becoming a kepala keluarga, so the head of the family. So you don't have to be the founder of a startup unicorn, or like the CEO of this company, or like CEO or whatever, to be able to answer that question. Maybe you can answer that question by something that resonates with you the most. And if you're genuine about it, then, the selection panel can see through you. And if if you fit, then maybe you will get called for an interview.
Thank you, Kak Alanda. Just before we close this session, maybe one more thing, like if you are thinking to apply for Chevening this year or maybe next year, please make sure if University of Warwick is your preferred choice, make sure to put it on your first rank of university choices. Yeah, so those three choices are actually like tiga pilihan ya. So first choice is like your priority, and second is cadangan, and the third one is another cadangan. Like Alanda mentioned earlier, it's a safe options. So, and also be realistic, as Barry said. You can say if you want to apply for like Oxford or Cambridge, it's fine, but make sure you understand the requirement. And also if you want to apply for Warwick, make sure you find out their requirement as well. Again, thank you so much Kak Alanda, Kak Berry, Kak Annisa, Kak Imran, and Bu Rowena for joining us today. And thank you for everybody who tuning in from Zoom and YouTube. Very sorry that the timing is off by 10 minutes, but hopefully this session is beneficial for everybody here. Last but not least, before I offer back to Bagus to close the show, to close the webinar, I just want to tell you that Chevening is still open until 2nd of November, so you can apply through our website www.chevening.org. We do not ask for your letter of acceptance from university yet. We will ask for it next year. But in the meantime, you can already start your application to university. For example, in this case, University of Warwick is our Chevening partner locally for Indonesia. So if that's where you want to go, put it on the first choice. That's all for this session. Thank you again for coming. I will give it back to Bagus to close the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Bararas, for the nice talk show and question and answer session. It's really fun, and I think the audience also enjoyed it since we have got a lot of interesting questions. And I'd like to remind the audience as well, if you would like to rewatch this video, you can always open your YouTube either through your laptop or your handphone. Just search Chevening Indonesia and Timor-Leste, and you will be able to rewatch sessions that we have conducted before, including today's session. And finally, I'd like to thank the attendees for joining the session today, and also to our distinguished speakers today, Ibu Rowena, Mas Kaberi, Kak Alanda, Kak Annisa, and Imran, for your time and your valuable insights to the Chevening applicants. I'm sure that they will be benefited a lot from this session today. And probably there will be more students, Chevening scholars coming to University of Warwick next year, hopefully. And we hope the information and knowledge shared today will be useful for your future Chevening applications for all the attendees today. And we look forward to receiving your Chevening applications. Please ensure to submit it before the 2nd of November. And please also bear in mind that the deadline is on the BST, British Standard Time, so it is not WIB. Please make sure to pay attention to that as well. So thank you and have a good day and good weekend.
Can we take a photo, Bagus?
Ya, ini ada video dulu. Kayaknya
Video
Bararas.
dulu ya. Oke.
Atau foto dulu?
Foto dulu. Kak Alan dan Kak Annisa masih bisa foto sebentar. Dikit aja.
1 menit.
Sebelum kita pulang.
Ya, takutnya Annisa ada kuliah. Udah nggak ada kuliah kayaknya ya.
Kuliah ya.
Mungkin lagi kerja. Nggak apa-apa, yuk kita foto.
Annisa nggak ada.
Mungkin bisa make this C, but with right hand.
Gini.
C for Chevening.
Kok gue kebalik sih?
Pakai tangan kanan Kak Alanda. Ini itu udah kanan ya? Ya.
Ini udah bener.
Ya. Right hand. Thank you. Imran, right hand.
1, 2, 3.
Mbak Ina malah kebalik.
Nah, udah bener ya?
Iya. 3, 2.
3, 2, 1.
Thank you very much. Thank you semuanya.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you ya.
Thank you Imran. Thank you Alanda, Berry,
Thank you
Annisa.
Mbak. Thank you, Mas Bagus.
Groundbreaking.
Bye, Imran.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Have a good rest.
Our successes build one upon another.
We've improved the lives of people in our local communities.
Raised awareness of international issues.
Championed women's rights.
And so much more.
Will you join us?
Choose from thousands of subjects.
At hundreds of world-class universities.
Learn from some of the world's most experienced teachers.
Study alongside scholars from 160 countries.
And all walks of life.
Establish lifelong friendships.
In some of the most diverse universities in the world.
Come, join we.
Elen, mo to join eh?
تعالوا معنا.
Sali na.
Mikuna join us.
Bumobo tayo ulit.
Makibahagi.
انضموا لنا.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.